Good morning. Hey, we are now on a week of paragraphs. We went through all kinds of different kinds of sentences last week: declarative, statements, questions, interrogative, all that good stuff. And now we're building from sentences into paragraphs. And just like we did subjects and predicates, well, subjects and predicates are part of a sentence, and sentences are part of a paragraph. You're going to find out how paragraphs are built and maybe to help you understand. I hope this helps, but we're not in shop class all of a sudden, but I think you guys, maybe you don't know all these terms. I sure don't. But even if you don't know all these terms, you understand that a building is made up of different parts. Otherwise, it would not stand. If you take out the foundation, which is the main part of the building, you're not going to have a strong building. If you've ever seen a building being built, before all this top stuff, you know that they start at the bottom. They start with the foundation, because if that's not strong, you're not going to have a good building. Then you have all these posts or support, these beams, and they're all over the place. Beam, post, rafter, those all build it to make it nice and strong. And then, of course, you have the roof. I hope this doesn't confuse anybody. And no, this isn't a mistake, but a paragraph is almost like a building upside down. A building, of course, has a strong foundation at the bottom. A paragraph actually starts with the foundation on top. And then all these posts and all these beams help to support it. Maybe a hamburger will help us out. I hope you're not getting too hungry. But some people, it helps them to think of a paragraph like a hamburger. You got to start with the topic sentence. And if you remember our title for today, you're going to see this word a lot, the main idea. You see, just like this building is made up of all these parts, but it still makes up one building, a paragraph is made up of a lot of parts, but it's still one paragraph. Just like a hamburger is made up of a lot of parts, but it's still one paragraph. And you guys understand the ingredients of a hamburger. So you start with the topic sentence or the main idea, what the paragraph's about. Then you have the next ingredient, which supports the topic sentence, and the next ingredient, then the next ingredient, and then the last ingredient, and then you close it with the bottom bun, right? So you have the top bun, the lettuce, the cheese, the burger, the tomato, and the bottom bun. But all of those parts make up one hamburger. Now, I hope I'm not confusing you, but here's an actual example of a paragraph. And here's what I mean, okay? You can see there's 3 different parts here. And that's what we're going to talk about all this week to make up a good paragraph. But all of these, even though it's made up of 3 parts, just like a hamburger is made up of many ingredients and a building is made up of many parts, it's still one paragraph. It always has to start with the topic sentence, which is the main idea. What I mean by that is this first sentence is incredibly important because it tells you exactly what this paragraph is going to be about. Just like a building has to start on bottom with the foundation and everything's built off of that, a paragraph has to start on top with the topic sentence. See what I did there? The topic sentence. And that tells you the main idea of what this paragraph is about. In other words, if you read this topic sentence or main idea, it says one of the first people I met was Joe Frieda. That tells you in one sentence what this paragraph is about. Now, yes, you have a lot of other parts that are going to talk about that topic sentence, but you know that if you're hoping for a paragraph on tacos, this isn't the paragraph for you. Because this paragraph, what's it going to be about? Read the topic sentence and the main idea. One of the first people I met was Joe Frieda. That's the foundation. That's the topic sentence. That's the main idea. Now, just like a hamburger has other parts in the middle to help make it a hamburger, just like a building has other posts and beams to help support it, we have something that are called supporting sentences. And you can bet if it's a good paragraph, all the supporting sentences are going to be about what? The topic sentence or the main idea. It's all going to be about when the first people you met was Joe Frieda. If it doesn't always go back and talk about something with the topic sentence, it should not belong in this paragraph. Just like a building has all the posts and all the beams, if it's not meant in some way, shape, or form to help support and build a building, you don't need it in a building. Any builder is going to get rid of the junk, get rid of the garbage, get rid of the stuff that doesn't help, because if that building isn't strong and everything supports it, it's not going to be a good building. Same with your paragraph. If we read some of the supporting sentences, which make up most of the paragraph, just like the ingredients of a hamburger make up most of the burger, right? And most of the building is the supports, the beams, the posts, and things like that. The foundation you hardly see, but that's still the most important. The topic sentence and main idea is really just one sentence, the top or the first sentence. That tells you the main idea or what this paragraph is about. All the supporting sentences do just that. Support it. I first met Joe standing in a line at the bookstore. I was having a difficult time finding the books for the English classes I was taking my first semester here. He not only helped me find my books, but he also gave me some good advice to where to get tutorial help on campus, where I could find some good restaurants. We've become better friends since then. He's been so helpful in answering any questions I have about going to a school in the U.S. and about American culture. If you notice, yes, we understand a little bit more about that this person's probably a transfer student from a different country coming to the U.S., but every single sentence is going back to him meeting Joe Frieda, one of the first people he met. It's all about that. If this person wanted to talk about tacos or want to talk about going to Walmart, that's great, but it should not be in this paragraph. It has to be in a completely separate paragraph, because talking about Walmart, talking about tacos, would not go back to meeting Joe Frieda. Now, the last part is kind of like the bottom bun of a hamburger. It's kind of like the shingles of a building. It just kind of wraps it up. It makes a hamburger a hamburger. It makes a building a building. The finishing touches, that's something we call the concluding sentence. Starts with the topic sentence or main idea, has a bunch of supporting details to help expand on the main idea, and then it just kind of wraps it all up. This is like the little bow or the little ribbon on the present. It just kind of wraps it up and makes it look nice. If I hadn't met Joe that day, I might still be looking for the right books for my classes. Oh, and a little joke to boot, huh? That is a good paragraph. Starts with the topic sentence or main idea. Again, opposite of a building because the foundation is first. The main part is first. Then all the supports and the good old supporting details below it, and then a concluding sentence to kind of wrap up the paragraph. Now, one other thing I'm going to mention today is this little space right here. This is a big fancy pants English term that's called an indent or an indentation. If we go back to what we learned about sentences, we know when you're writing, you can't exactly have pictures every time you write. So your writing has to have detail and has to have those good adjectives so that we, when we read, can have a nice picture, a nice movie going in our head. That's what makes a good book indeed a good book. We also have the end punctuation, like the periods and the exclamation points, that help understand if there's a little bit extra emotion that needs to be involved, if they're asking a question, if it's just a statement, so on and so forth. That helps us understand a little bit more about the sentence. Well, paragraphs have little clues too. And you know that it's going to be a new paragraph if the first line, and again, only the first line, is indented. And that simply means it's just pushed in a little bit. You just kind of take it and you push it in a little bit. Again, not halfway, it's not starting here, but just pushed in. That's a clue that you're in the new paragraph. If this would go on, we say, okay, we're done talking about meeting Joe Frieda as the first person. If you start a new paragraph and you want to talk about tacos, cool. That's great. How do you know it's a new paragraph? Because the next one is going to be indented. This is the main thing. I know we talked a lot about paragraphs, but this is the main thing we're going to talk about today. Finding the main idea. Each paragraph really only has one main idea. I know it has a lot of parts and a lot of sentences, but it's all talking about the main idea. It's all talking about the topic sentence. And if you notice, it all starts with a topic sentence which contains the main idea. If you're wondering what the paragraph is about, you read the topic sentence which contains the main idea. To be quite honest with you, this is going to be a really easy assignment because you need to find the main idea, and the main idea is always in the topic sentence. It's always the top sentence, the sentence that's indented. Take a look at this. Ooh, I love this. Look, it's indented. How many lines? Only the first line. It's got a lot of good sentences. Every sentence starts with a capital letter, ends with punctuation. We learned that last time. Oh, look, we got an exclamation point here. Take a look. If you're wondering, what is this paragraph is going to be about? Don't start in the middle. Don't start at the end. You start at the top. The topic sentence, which tells you the main idea. That gives you the clue. That signals what this paragraph is going to be about. The warm weather allows me to play outside. That's what this paragraph is about. Again, if you still want a paragraph about tacos, sorry, this paragraph isn't it. This paragraph is only going to talk about playing outside because of the warm weather. That's the main idea. That's what this paragraph is about. If you read on, you notice it all talks about playing outside because of the warm weather. Look, they're playing through the sprinkler. They run through the water and they scream. At night, they play hide and seek with their friends, usually hides behind the big bush, and I love it when the weather is warm. All of those supporting sentences go back to the top, which is the main idea, and they help support it. They help explain, hey, when the weather is nice, I like to go play outside. Here's all the reasons why. Here's all the things I do when the weather's nice and I play outside. It all goes back to the topic sentence, the main idea. That's what you guys need to do here. You have the directions right here. And yes, I know it's a little bit redundant, but you only have 3. So no complaining here. You only have 3. Direction number 1, read each paragraph. You can do that well. I'm sorry it got light here. I still think you can read it well. Do your best. Now it says write the main idea on the line. Write the main idea there. Man, where do you find the main idea? Always at the top, always in the topic sentence. Spoiler alert, you can literally write the topic sentence down at the main idea because that is the main idea. And here's where I think it gets a little bit redundant because it says draw a line of the topic sentence. So yes, I'm asking you to do that. Yes, it's redundant, which means you're doing kind of the same thing. But the point here is to really nail down the different parts of a paragraph. Here's what I love about what this bear and this kitty wrote. Number 1, all the paragraphs are made up of sentences. Starts with the capital letter, ends with punctuation. Look, every paragraph has the first line indented, only the first line indented. And as you read it, you're going to find out very clearly. Here's a topic sentence. It's always the top or the first sentence. You write the main idea here. And all these sentences go back and support the topic sentence. Look here. This paragraph, what's this about? It takes a week to make a jelly bean. I bet you all these sentences are going to talk about making jelly beans. So on and so forth. So, sorry, a little bit longer lesson today, but we're going to keep going with these paragraphs. This is Monday's assignment. Follow the directions carefully. Lord's blessings to you as you praise your Savior.